because it doesn't curve. The water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat because it doesn't curve, the water always finds its level.
What'd your teacher do?
She just didn't talk to me anymore. All she did was walk away. And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it.
Up for sound bites. This is awesome.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Anti-Religious Scripture Study with me, Karen B., and of course, Just Jack, Flat Earth.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, praise Yah that Shabbat is here. To those of you who had experiences with family this week, my condolences go out to you. May Yah give you peace in all things. So we can just get right into the disclaimer. Just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study the scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then the stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and you'd like to dig in to discover more, then the stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There you go. Alrighty then. We are in Deuteronomy 24, which is Devariym 24. And I forgot to change it back to parallel. There we go. And whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Alrighty. When a man takes a wife and shall marry her, then it shall be, if she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found a matter of uncoveredness in her, and he shall write her a certificate of divorce and put it in her hand and send her out of his house.
Okay, so they translated it in the Scriptures version as uncoveredness, and King James translated it as uncleanness. It is exposures. So uncoveredness is actually more accurate, but it means that she's been exposed to have been not with just her husband, but with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And if she left his house and went and became another man's wife, and the latter husband shall hate her and write her a certificate of divorce and put it in her hand and send her out of his house, or when the latter husband dies, who took her to be his wife, then the former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her back to be his wife. She has been defiled, for that would be an abomination before Yehovah, and do not bring sin on the land which Yehovah your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance.
Okay, so once you put her away, that's it. You cannot have her back. So that, it's saying like, you found out that she's been unfaithful, you send her away, she gets with another guy, it doesn't work out, whether she becomes a widow or that husband sends her away, and like, oh, I miss her, I'll bring her back. No, I can't do that. So that's what that's about. All right, verse 5.
When a man has taken a new wife, let him not go out into the army, nor let any matter be imposed upon him. He shall be exempt 1 year for the sake of his home, to rejoice with his wife whom he has taken.
And I think we talked about this in earlier verses that, like, the whole idea of, following the creator and having a community is the reproduction of those people. So if a man gets married and then goes off to war, then he can't start his reproduction process.
Right.
All right, 6.
No one takes in pledge the lower or the upper millstone, for he would be taking a life in pledge.
Okay, so this is I don't know why it says or, and this one says or as well. It's and. It can be translated as or, but I really think it is and, because what we're talking about here is the millstone is what is used to produce food. So you can't make a pledge like, just like, let's say, the pledge you say is like, if I don't do this, then you can take my millstone, my top grinding stone or my bottom grinding stone, which is the rider, because it follows the path inside, because that would cause him to lose his life, because he would not have a way to make food. So you can pledge things, but you're not allowed to pledge things that will put your life at risk.
Okay.
Basically, that's the gist of that. All right, 7. And this kind of goes into it. So go ahead.
When a man is found kidnapping any of his brothers of the children of Israel and treats him harshly or sells him, then that kidnapper shall die. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst.
Okay, so there's, two actions of immorality that constitutes for the death sentence. One is the sexual immorality, and the other one is the premeditated life-taking immorality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, even though it's just a kidnapping and not a murder, it's still stealing a man's life. Kidnapping is stealing a man's life. So it deserves the death penalty.
Take heed, in an outbreak of leprosy, do diligently guard and do according to all that the priests, the Levites teach you, as I have commanded them, so you shall guard to do.
Right.
Remember that Jehovah your Elohim did to Miriam on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim. What Jehovah did.
Okay.
What am I saying?
Yeah, so that's Numbers 12. So I'm going to jump back there really quickly and go to reading version. This is when Aaron and Miriam turned against Moshe for the sake of his wife that they didn't like because she came from a different tribe. The cloud turned away from the tent, and look, Miriam was leprous, white as snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and look, a leper. And then Jehovah prayed for forgiveness, and she was healed. But yet, Miriam was shut out of the camp for 7 days, and the people did not set out until Miriam was readmitted into the camp. So that's what that's talking about. So make sure that you do what was described in Leviticus about not going inside of the camp until even after you're healed 7 days. All right.
When you lend your brother a loan, do not go into his house to get his pledge.
Okay.
Stand outside and let the man to whom you lend bring the pledge out to you.
Okay, so you have a right to defend your house if somebody comes into your house, regardless of if you owe them something or not. Right? You have the what's the word? Sovereignty of your own home.
Mm-hmm.
No one's allowed to just come invade your space. All right, 12.
And if the man is poor, do not sleep with his pledge. What does that mean?
Keep reading because it's got to be in the context of the next verse.
By all means, return that pledge to him at sundown, and he shall sleep in his own garment and shall bless you, and it shall be righteousness to you before Jehovah your Elohim.
Yeah, so I mean, especially with our modern language, do not sleep with his pledge. It sounds like, betting his pledge. But it's talking about specifically, even if he owes you everything, like let's say, I pledge that this is going to happen, or you can have all of my belongings. Well, you can have all of his belongings, but you should return his clothing for that evening for him to sleep in so that he'll be, comfortable in the night. Same thing as like not taking the millstone will completely take his life. Well, this is just a matter of comfort. Like let him keep his garment so that he has something to sleep in. All right, 14.
Do not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy of your brothers or of your strangers who are in your land within your gates.
So that goes along with that whole concept of like, not to oppress them or extort them or quarrel with them. You're still supposed to have the common decency of human comfort. 15.
Give him his wages on the same day, and do not let the sun go down on it, for he is poor and lifts up his being to it, so that he does not cry out against you to Jehovah, and it shall be sin in you.
I wish it was still this way. A day's wage for a day's work.
Yeah.
It would be very beneficial to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The debt problem when it exists, it's all sorts of things like that. All right, 16.
Fathers are not to put to death for their children, and children are not to put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sin.
I didn't like the wording. It's a little
Yeah, it sounds weird.
broken English. It means if your child commits a sin, the father is not put to death for it.
Mm-hmm.
If a father commits a sin, the child is not put to death for it. In other words, each one is accountable to his own sin, which goes against the misinterpretation of Exodus chapter 20 when it's talking about the 10 Commandments, where it says, where is it? Okay. Do not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, Jehovah, your Elohim, am a jealous, visiting the crookedness of the fathers unto the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. And then people will read that and they'll say, see, not only is he cursed, but his son's cursed and his grandson's cursed. That's not what it means. It means that if you have a lifestyle of going against the creator, most likely your son will and your grandson will, because they'll just carry on after you. But every man is responsible for his own sin. So therefore, a son is not put to death for the sin of his father, right? That's what this is also referring to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 17.
Do not twist the right ruling of a stranger or the fatherless, nor take the garment of a widow.
This says twist. This says pervert. This says spread. All right, 18.
But you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and that Jehovah your Elohim ransomed you from there. Therefore I am commanding you to do this word.
All right, so I think we missed one. Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. Yeah, don't twist the right ruling of a stranger or fatherless, nor take the garment of a widow, but you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim. Okay, so it's saying, like, these people, just like you were, not living your best life in Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and you were taken out of there. So remember that when you're dealing, to be fair in judgment.
When you reap your harvest in your field, and have forgotten a sheaf in the field, do not go back to get it. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, so that Jehovah your Elohim might bless you in all the work of your hands.
This definitely is a recurring theme, where, your leftovers are necessary for people who need it. And it's like, okay, but what about this is my field of profit, all right? This isn't even the corners. This is, I just accidentally left a sheaf. I got to go get it. No, 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 leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it. Somebody else may need it more than you. All right,
Mm-hmm.
20. Oh, by the way, in my current experience, I have misplaced, you know, something of value, and then I lost it, and then I was like, well, maybe somebody else needs it more than me. So, that's
Yeah.
a modern day way, modern day way of acknowledging the scripture. Okay, 20.
Mm-hmm. When you beat your olive trees, do not examine the branch behind you. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow.
Same thing. All right.
When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, do not glean behind you. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow.
Okay.
And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim. Therefore, I am commanding you to do this word.
Okay. Yeah. So, just like we've discussed in previous verses, this is what the tithe is for also, right? The 10% of your income that you put aside and to take care of the widows, the orphans, and those in need, that, we should be, as a community, taking care of one another, and selfishness should be thrown out,
Mm-hmm.
does not work in modern day society. Okay. It should, but it doesn't. All right. Shout out to Lord Racer, Joseph Osborne, TC Zamman, Good Times for All, Zachary Zabala, Azing 717, Cammy, Captain Construction, Fast Eddie Flathead, 16 Alpha V. Glad you made it again. NDB, Alex Javier. Did I say Joseph? Yeah, I said Joseph Osborne, but I did it again. Plain Dweller Walker, Plain Dweller of Yah, sorry. Earth First, Space Later, Valley Parks, Artist Seer, Sherry Ives, Flat Earth Andy, Dr. E. Vales, Rethink Inc., some Russian name. All right, shout out to y'all. Thanks for coming in. See if there's any questions. Fast Eddie Flathead said 3 times 9 is 27. Yes, but I don't know what you're referring to. 0 times 1 equals 1. I don't understand what that one was either. I don't know. What is happening?
Don't know. I don't know.
Stay blessed, sir. Creator be willing. Grand right is, sir. He is willing. Okay, and then there's jokes about a ransom for chocolate. I don't know.
Yep, Sherry loves her chocolate. So do I.
Deuteronomy 14 or 15 should be read by collectivists, aka commies, Marxists, etc., about paying for the sins of your forefathers. Okay. Um, some Russian name is my new password. Oh boy, a lot to unpack with that statement, so I won't even get into it. All right. That will complete our chapter studies. So
All right. I guess that's it. Done for the day. We have um 10 more chapters.
yep, we're getting there. Yep, we're 10 chapters away. That's correct. So maybe I'll look into if some of these are short chapters, and if they are, maybe we'll combine a couple of them. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Because these we do seem to be going through them a lot faster, and I think it's because we have a concept of the previous, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
how scripture should be read from the beginning, like every other book
Mm-hmm.
in creation.
Right.
Read from the beginning, and then the rest of it starts to make sense. All right.
Right, in chronological order.
Yep, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
All right. Shabbat shalom. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Anti-Religious Scripture Study. We hope you have a restful day, and we will see you next week.
And the earth is still flat.
And the earth is still flat.
Shabbat shalom.